Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are on Tuesday, February 27th. We're going to take a look at Lemonade today. So Lemonade actually booming today, heading into earnings, up over 11% yesterday, and today so far putting in over 6%. So should be interesting to see how the market sort of digests whatever the reaction is to earnings based on this really recent run up. But swinging higher than this swing high over here, there's still this gap down here that it left around, say, 13 down to 11, mid 11s or so. So we'll see if that, oh no, that's the volume candle. This is the high end this day was 11.22. Okay, so not that far off. But so we'll see how that plays out. But these are the levels that I thought we'd look at, you know, depending on if it moves relatively sideways or if it booms or busts, what it might get into. Now, if it does dip a little bit, 1954 looks like a strong support to the downside, and then 1649. I know there's a big sort of percentage range in between these, but I didn't want to clutter up the chart too much, so I went with what I felt were the strongest levels. So inevitably, there's going to be some sort of smaller, more granular levels in between. It may develop some additional price action in between, so just know, yes, there's a big space between these percentage-wise, but that's why. Now, if it does continue its rally to the upside, 23.32, 26.59, and then again, just because it has been booming lately, I put in an additional one at 32.97. You see that tap out here, and then we have a bunch more price action, but it sort of gets quite runaway until sort of mid to high 40s, and then up into the 50s and 60s. So we'll see if, any of this comes into play and how quickly and when. But those are the levels that I'm going to be looking at. Now on the think or swim side of things, you see with today's action, it's pushed it up out of the upper bound of the channel. And actually a really good call out by the TTM squeeze indicator here. Super long trigger on the TTM squeeze indicator. Rare to see a trigger this long in many of the stocks that we look at, but it was pinned to the mid-range of the channel for most of it, and then it fired, and now we're seeing the sort of fruits of that fire, if you will, as it's jumping up out of the channel. Now, if it does come back and interacts with the channel right now, the upper bound is situated at 1981, the lower bound is situated down at 1545, so we'll see if those come into play, if it does dip at all, but otherwise, it could certainly spend decent amount of time up out of the channel. It's done it before. Could do it on either end, of course. So just because it's out of the channel doesn't mean that it has to hurry itself back into it. The channel's dynamic, so it will drag the channel up with it. So, at some point there will be a collision with the channel, but it could be, sustained effort outside of the channel for sure, especially with this run up. If you piggyback on that, a really good reaction to earnings. We'll see what happens. If not, and it drops, then it pulls back into the channel, or who knows, maybe if it's severe enough, it drops out of the lower bound of the channel, and we could see what that looks like. If folks are interested, just leave me a comment. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week is off to a good start, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.